VG Gaming versus Newbee. Game 1.
So here we are. Now the most important bands and picks of their life, and already in the grand finals, Newbee.
7-0 for that hero on Newbee. They haven't lost a single match in the whole competition.
The mind game begins.
Yeah, and take it away from VG Gaming.
One thing that's actually awesome, like to me, is the Enchantress ban. We discussed it before.
Yeah.
With Vichy's like game style, the junglers will be really important. We haven't seen an Enchantress ban the whole tournament, but now it comes. So that means that both teams are really, really ready for each other's.
And we get the Shadow Shaman and the Air Shaker. Again, no surprises here. These teams are picking whatever actually fit their playstyle and they've been picking so far. A little bit of information which we haven't talked about. Newbee and VG Gaming, they face each other 20 times. The score favors VG Gaming 12-8, but the last 9 were 6-3 to Newbee. So VG Gaming had the early advantage in terms of the previous duels. Newbee seems to have the numbers recently.
I think I probably would have gone for the Shadow Shaman over Nature's Prophet. The thing is, if they lose with the first pick Nature's Prophet, they're going to have to ban it out. Probably for like game 2
or take it themselves.
Or take it themselves again, but typically teams don't do that.
You can already see the fighting power from Newbee. I mean, they have a global presence with A Ultimate plus Nature's Prophet. This sets up perfectly for a Spectre pick, by the way, if they want to get that. We've seen how play Spectre against EG.
And also Void. We've actually seen this kind of combo with DK a little bit. You know, just being able to snipe someone off very quickly can shut down someone's push, you know, even when you're just level 6.
Those are heroes that are really good at defending towers. When you're going to have a 5-man lineup showing under a tower, having the Nature's Prophet ultimate plus the AA blast is just insanely good to defend. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Newbee decides to go for something they picked already, which is the Spectre as a later pick, because then again, they can do that on the offlane like they did before, and also they have immense global potential. And that's the thing against pushing lineups, that global might work, because pushing is all about, okay, everyone is on the lane, suddenly you have 5 people pushing your towers, you either have to rotate, or if you can apply pressure globally, you can deter the push or just start the fight on your own terms. And bringing all that might be a strat that Newbee can say, okay, this is the way we stop the global push.
And the thing when you push is like, one thing about push, what makes pushing that good is that you don't let your opponent farm, because they have to, as you said, to TP, etc. Nature's Prophet and AA, they don't have the TP. They can just keep on farming and just land their spells and open whenever they're going to crush the fight. So really good approach. Like, so far so good for Newbee.
Yeah, at the same time, they might not want to pick Spectre because VG can't end a game in 15 minutes, and at that point, he might not even have his drums completed, or she rather. And they don't have that much wave clear right now, which is always a concern facing VG.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do think that Spectre is actually a good fighter in a sense. I mean, obviously we always see the late game rage in Spectre, but a Spectre with early drums and phase boots, he hits really hard. And
yeah, you max Desolate,
and
he's suddenly in a team fight you can do immense amount of damage.
He's a really good fighter, even early on.
Yeah. I'm also a fan of the Orb of Venom there, because you can, essentially, the radius of Desolate seems bigger than it is, but when you're in a team fight, you just move a little bit away from your allies and you're taking a lot of damage. We do see the Ember Spirit ban for for Newbee, so VG Gaming is not going to get that hero. If I'm VG Gaming, I'm going to say okay to that. I don't care that much, I guess.
The thing, Ember counters Prophet in many ways. He can solo kill Prophet anytime if Prophet is split pushing. And also, we've seen only, I think, Battle Fury's Ember. I don't think we've seen okay, Sing went for Luscari, but besides that, it's mainly the Battle Fury build Ember, and that's really good versus Prophet when he pushes the summons. So.
We've been talking about how important positioning is in the early game for both teams if you want to push. A hero like both Wraith King and Vengeful Spirit, both of those supports are supports that Newbee actually went for in combination with the Ancient Declaration before. Which one of those two would you say is most likely, or neither maybe?
It's difficult to call them right now. I think Vengeful would work really well with Newbee. It's really good with AA, and just the auras would work, but I think it's a bit early for them to get that. They might want to get something against the Brewmaster, because they really have nothing to fight that Brewmaster right now. It's an awesome pick for VG Gaming.
Well, Doom is still in.
Doom is still in, Skyras is still in,
I mean, if it was on the other side and Vici Gaming were playing the Nature's Prophet, I'd expect an Orchid coming out because that's how Sylar ends up playing that. But because the newbie have the Nature's Prophet, you know, you normally have seen Nature's Prophet kind of get into the Necro book, and you want that silence versus Brewmaster. So Vici Gaming are probably going to change some of the ideas that newbie have, and we'll see what they're going to pick up to handle the brew.
Whenever I see Vici Gaming going for these kind of lineups with you have a lot of tankiness out in the front, they bring the Brewmaster, they bring the Death Prophet, they create this wall of heroes that can tank pretty much everything and just push your towers. I kind of wish the Storm Spirit could come back, because he's one of those heroes that can jump through that line and get to the weak support. The Shaker will want to be separated for the team, and that might be his doom. If you can jump on the Earth Shaker and remove him from the equation, suddenly they don't have that backup plan if things go wrong. The same with the Rasta. If you can stop him because before he pops the wards, you want a team fight.
At the same time, Storm Spirit is just so vulnerable to early rotations, which can be punished by FY and Fenrir, and his team can't necessarily follow up. Maybe with Global Ultimates like AA and Nature's Prophet, but you can pretty much dump any hero into that mix.
Well, if you get a blink on Lion, he can also jump to the back and perhaps make something happen. But it's a Lion pickup. A little bit unexpected, but a lot of disable coming with that hero, of course.
This is the answer they needed to the Brewmaster, but it's gonna come to the timings. We've seen MMY yesterday. Awesome timings on the Hex. Yeah. Let's hope for Newbee that Sansheng or Banana, I don't know who's gonna grab that Lion, will be able to actually Hex the Brewmaster as fast as MMY would have.
I'd be really scared of a Pugna pick if I were a newbie. They have 3 int heroes. Lion's a pretty heavy caster, and Vici has like a really strong early push too.
Oh yeah, the Pugna pick is actually awesome right now for Vici Gaming.
We haven't seen that come out for many of the teams in the main event, but it was played in the group stages.
It was played a lot. It was banned all the time in second phase versus those teams. So, especially versus Vici Gaming actually.
Well, we'll see if they take it. And how would you respond if you were a newbie if they ended up getting that? Would you just be like, oh dear? Or is it?
It's tough, because if it's a Pugna, then it's most likely a safe lane Pugna. Or it could be. The things that newbie supports, they're good at laning. I mean, Lion is less good at laning than AA is, but they're not really good at roaming early on. I don't think newbie is going to look for early kills. They will wait the right timings.
Oh, and it's the arrow to get Clockwork. Worked twice yesterday, why not try it again?
So the reasoning behind the Clockwork is like the Brewmaster can't jump first because he exposed himself to death against the Lion, against the burst damage generally that newbie has. So Clockwork will be opening the fight. If he can on Lion, that's the best target obviously. So Brewmaster can get his split off no matter what happens. I really like the double initiation from Vici Gaming. They're going to be looking for fights.
I think almost it's a necessity these days in these high skill games to actually have 2 people that are able to initiate, because one you can play around so easily. So Vici Gaming are going to pick up the Clockwork and the Brewmaster, and we've had a lot of success with people that have 2 good initiations, and you never know, later on in the game that Shadow Shaman and Earth Shaker also benefit from blinks, but that would have to be a pretty long game for maybe that to happen.
Yeah, well,
sorry, go ahead.
I think they can really punish Nature's Prophet pick with the clock. I think Sylar had like 11 deaths in one game, and I think that's really one of the keys to beating Nature's Prophet.
There it goes.
Oh, and it's a newbie life stealer. And this works really well. I mean, when you have heroes like Clockwork, Brewmaster, Earthshaker, if you get the jump on them and you can pop the Rage, and Brewmaster, for example, doesn't have his ultimate. These are strength heroes with quite a lot of HP, but not much armor. And they can just like putting yourself on top of the Clockwork, stops the Clockwork from initiating. 3-0 with this hero for newbie. They really play well.
You're immune to cogs when you rage right now. That was the change. So
yeah, they picked Lifestealer versus EG, like versus Naga, Sandking, very evasive heroes, and it wasn't really the best pick. But here, Lifestealer is actually awesome because Shadow Shaman, Shaker, and Clockwork, they have nothing versus the next. They have the hook shot. That's not even going to work. Like, they really have nothing versus the next.
But they don't have any way to get a Lifestealer into the fight. They just ban out the puck. Lion, maybe.
Well, Nature's Prophet bomb.
Yeah, but they really need something else. I agree.
Yeah, they need something
else. They need a co-op. They need something to actually get the Lifestealer in the fights. That's a really good point, because the first team that initiates is most likely going to win the fight here.
Yeah, if you just walk out, I mean, they'll just drop Shadow Shaman. They'll just drop
it's a Sylar Laundry. Nice goal, James.
So James called it. Yeah.
Always a potential chance of it coming back, certainly. Sylar, one of the best lone druid players. As you heard, his farm is out of control. How he also mentioned that he farms better and maybe one of the best.
This is the classic Nex Lone Druid. They sort of counter each other. Lone Druid can root the Nex, but on the other hand, like Nex just destroys the bear. So it's actually it was a classic TI3 matchup.
Alchemist.
Yeah, that's an Alchemist.
Wow, and we don't see any straight-up super aggressive pushing lineups out of either of these teams. They both can do some pushing, especially Vici, but I don't think we're going to see a 15-minute game today.
No, most likely not.
Whose lineup do you prefer?
I like Vici's. It has just a stronger push. Newbee just don't have the AoE clear to deal with it.
I like Newbee. I think they can move around the map, and just the global potential is too strong.
I think a lot of it is on the Lifestealer and the Alchemist, Hawamu, their combo being able to get the initiation. But we'll find out. So let's send it over to the commentators who are going to introduce the first match of the grand finals. Over to Toby and Lumi.
Thank you very much. It is wonderful to be here for a TI4 Grand Final here in Key Arena, Seattle. I'm Toby One and Lumi. We'll be taking you through the entire best of 5 series for this Grand Final. Lumi, I'm looking forward to some amazing games.
Yeah, game 1, I expected a lot of push like the analyst says, but it looks like we're going to see a much more balance of a game. We're going to see some push, we're going to see a ton of team fights. We might even go to a 50-minute late game, so I think we have it all, and that's a great game 1, right? You want to see it all, and I think this is going to be it.
Yeah.
Looks like nobody's do any level 1 smoke. The only aggressive move is ROTK. Looks like he's straight up TP to the bottom. This is going to be a very expensive ward, but he's going to get one down without the enemy team having any vision.
This I think is really important for it. I was actually looking at the Lone Druid pickup as the last one and thinking, okay, you look at the lineup from Newbee now. They could run easily an aggro trial lane with Alive still on the front lines, Ancient Apparition as well as Lion right behind him. They could cause a lot of havoc up on that top lane. So the bear becomes a bit of a filter up on that top lane, then combining it up with FY as well as Fenrir's control power. They should be able to survive that top lane. If you had any other hero which has to come to the front lines to farm or be involved, you'd be finding yourselves in a really, really risky position where you could give away first blood. So they basically have the top lane as far as like balance goes, as long as they don't get caught out of position. They look towards the bottom lane. You get this nice, really aggressive ward. It blocks the pull point, so there's no secondary option if the top lane goes bad for Newbee, unless they come down here with sentry wards. But more importantly, it keeps an eye out for what Xiaowei's got planned with his little treants as well. So ROTK or Super. It actually looks like they're switching around their... they're switching? No. They're actually just handing over some sentry wards. There will be ROTK on the off lane, trying to get a good start, and Super will be there in the middle lane.
Toby, sounds like you like Vici's lanes.
I'm loving Vici's lanes. I really think the Lone Druid pickup as the last one was a really smart idea. The only thing that could bite him in the butt is when the lifestealer gets really, really big. As Mad was saying, the bear is just going to get devoured by that lifestealer. They cannot let that lifestealer have room. They got to look at early Maelstrom Basher on that bear and really get up in the face there of Newbee.
Yeah, I think farming on the top lane is going to be quite difficult for Vici Gaming. With that said, though, Sylar is working with essentially 2 heroes, so his last hit damage is very high. Should he get out of position, the Earthshaker Fissure is going to bail him out. So let's see who's going to actually get the first kill here. I imagine it's going to go towards the side of Newbee, but how defensive can Vici get?
Man, they're going to be so defensive. The problem is they've got no camps to pull. They need to get rid of these sentry wards, but to do that, they have to basically contest up against Sunshine as well as Banana, and that's not going to be an easy thing. FY, surprisingly for his first ability, he goes in for the shock, so he's just going to try and push Hao out of the lane and the fissure spam as well. I get a feeling they're burning through a lot of clarities just to try and get these Newbee supports to burn through consumables, because what they really bring towards this top lane, everyone's got a set of tangos and there's a salve there, but that's basically all she wrote. So if you get these guys low enough, then it's going to be really risky for Newbee to try and dive underneath, either be it a tier 1 tower or go deeper inside the Vici Gaming jungle.
What's worth, they're actually farming quite okay on the top lane. Sylar is getting up to the creeps, and that's kind of what you're looking for. The trap from the Fissure, not going to be there. Yeah, they're just completely throwing out nukes left and right and trying to out-harass them. There is a smoke of deceit for Vici Gaming support, and with the Earthshaker, you always have a shot to actually go gank mid. And I think the key thing right now is they finally found that sentry. They will be able to deward it. They will be able to pull at minute 2. And that should help Vici's defensive trialing a little bit better.
Yeah. Another lane we should probably mark is middle lane. Super already cracking his 10 CS and finally has his bottle coming out because he bought the Stout Shield. It took a little bit longer than it took for Mu, who's playing there as the Alchemist. Oh, hello top lane. That's a real bad position right now for Banana. Gets it on the Sylar. He's got to cut his way out. There's no tangos. Hao's trying to help him out, but he's locked in the corner. First blood goes away at Vici Gaming. game isn't over yet. FY still in the tree line. Prophet, he's actually going to come into this fight. Zhao Wei wants to turn the tides of this fight. And Fenrir now on the run. Chilling Touch is on cooldown. Cold Feet is available now, but we will see Sylar and Fenrir back up. So it's a 1-1 trade, but Zhao Wei has to TP in and then uses a scroll to get back straight to bottom lane. They don't want to miss any CS down here.
Very surprised that Zhao Wei actually TP in without having access to Sprout. So he essentially teleported in and added 2 or 3 right clicks. Got the kill though, got the experience, and that's the key. He's now going back to the bottom lane.
I'm not seeing it as a huge win, especially when this is happening on bottom lane. Smoke movement is going to be perfect, and this is going to set up. Now, Alchemist will die in the middle lane, but Zhao Wei locked inside the cogs with the shackles and the shock and the battery assault rocket. It's actually not even battery assault, it was just plain rocket. They get themselves the kill. And the Alchemist, in the meantime, he's actually soloed up by a DD Brewmaster in the middle lane. So VG Gaming are now sitting at a 3-1 advantage 3 minutes in.
Very, very good movement coming out from VG early game, especially that gank on the bottom lane. Not only did they get the kill, you gotta keep in mind that FY is playing a hero that really needs to reach level 6. So getting any kills like that, especially when you only like a 2v1 situation, the experience share is very going in the favor of VG Gaming. And let's see if they continue this aggressive movement. FY, he's gonna find Shanshan. He does have the boots advantage, but ROTK is very far away. Don't think they're really gonna get the kill. I say that though, there is no boots on Shanshan. He can keep chasing this. The right click of Shadow Shaman.
He needs 2 more attacks at least to get Sunshine down, but he can't reach him. And there's not enough mana for a shock. Not at this point, but you're realizing just how powerful that rocket can be also early on. RTK actually favoring the rocket over the battery assault, even though if he does manage to catch Zhao Wei inside a cogs, high-level battery assault will be an instant kill on that Prophet.
Yeah, what Newbee's looking for right now is to stabilize their lane. The first step is having how to finish that phase boots. Once you have the phase boot finish, you're essentially immune. Mid lane, it's going to be a lot of trade-off here and there. Looks like 2 heroes running to the rune at top. Nobody finds it. Super comes in and clap. Looks like he's going to threaten for the kill. He's going to get a crit. He's actually going to split. That's going to be a kill if the Dragon doesn't deny it. The Dragon, they're just sitting there and they're not denying. The Dragons are too slow.
That last little walkover, the Dragons noticed at the last moment. Now up on top lane, Fissure on Hal. But there's rotation support coming over from the Lion. And Hal underneath his own tier 1 tower is going to be okay.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, ROTK invis up, and there's going to be support coming in from FY.
He's right next to him.
Easy calm. And here comes FY. He's going to do a ton of damage with that Ether Shock. Where's the Shackle? He's not using it. There you go. Finally, Shackle. ROTK will pick up the kill. And the important experience and levels are coming in. ROTK hitting level 6, so he can start rotating around, and that's going to free up the lane for FY to actually sit here and get more experience.
Man, this movement from VG Gaming is brilliant and super, like knowing how far he can push it up against Moo, realizing an Alchemist is literally acid spray and a concoction. He's got nothing else to really try and stop a Brewmaster, and when Brewmaster splits, there is actually nothing that stops him. You have to tank it all up, and he's not level 6 yet, so there's no Chemical Rage to try and protect this Alchemist. He's very, very weak at this stage of the game.
This gank has to work. The one big difference between the two supports of both teams that Banana and Shanshan, they play much more defensive than FY and Fenrir. So you can see that FY is, essentially ganking multiple lanes multiple times, whereas the Newbee supports are kind of hanging out on the top lane, and that's really just a different playstyle of the two teams' supports. But that really is making a big deal. Obviously, we see ROTK is doing such a good job on the bottom lane, now almost hitting level 7. I wonder when he's actually going to make his first rotation in gank.
Well, I got a feeling he'll TP top in just a couple of moments' time, because Sylar, well, he actually just resummoned his best. This would be a big kill if they can claim it, but the Vortex goes down, which means Sylar knows the Sunshine and Banana are hanging inside the tree line, while in middle lane, Moo, he's actually popped off his Chemical Rage right now, but FY, the Fissure, he needs to get in range for the Shackles, and here it comes. FY, he's still not there. Now Moo throws out the stun, double stun with a rocket from ROTK, comes all the way from the bottom lane to get the kill. Super diving in deep, there is no split, 20 seconds on cooldown for Sunshine, held inside the Shackles as well, Totem Stomp, there's enough with the clap for Super. Caught inside the Sprout, taking a large amount of damage from the tier 1 tower, but he will back up to his side of the river, and not only that, he's going to pick up the illusion rune.
Top lane though, Sylar in a lot of trouble, trying to run away really quickly. There's Favor on how. One more hit, the Wrath of Nature is going to come through and get the kill. And again, any kill going to the supports on Newbee side is going to be huge as well. If you look at their item progression, there is none. Banana sitting at 500 gold, so he's going to get the boots. And looks like Shanshan has no boots. This is a problem. When you're trying to assist and teleport to the safe lanes and the mid lanes to help your other players, having that mobility and having the mana to TP in is huge. And right now, these supports are very under-leveled, they're very under-farmed, and it's hard to make a recovery in the early game when your supports can't make those plays.
Super is he's not going to go again. He does have split available, and he's watching Moo here in the middle lane, but needs more damage, especially going up against a Chemical Rage Alchemist, not that great. Fenrir is also watching the top lane. Sylar, he's still fighting without a bear. This is his massive problem right now. 50 seconds until he can have the potential entangle back up again. So Fenrir has to sit here and basically babysit Sylar, so Sylar doesn't fall behind in the farm. This is the most important thing for him right now.
If this was a boxing fight, I feel like it's Newbee that's really cowering. They took a really big right hook. Look at Moo on the mid lane. He has a Bracer and Alchemist. He's simply afraid. The hook's going to come in right now. The Cog's going to be ready. Moo's going to charge up his stun, but I'm not sure if it's going to make it out there. The tower is helping out. Tower aggro gets shifted, and now the split's going to come out. Moo's going to try to run away from the rest of his team. He's going to go down as a result. That Bracer did not save him. You do not get Bracers on Alchemist simply because you don't really need it in normal games. It seems like he's just really afraid of the rotation of Vici, and rightfully so, because they are 8-2 in a big lead.
What also really hurt him was the fact that Banana, he could only get one person on that Impale, and because of that, we still saw RTK freely move around. Another rotation from VG Gaming, and RTK coming from the angle, which you'd be least expecting. He literally just hooked in from like the ancient area on the top lane for a hero who's been on the bottom lane the entire time. Now how? He got entangled up, and that may be enough time holding him there. If they get another entangle here, he's going to see Infest out already.
Yes,
he may
Rage
be
TP.
regretting
Rage
that one
TP.
right now. He's already used his Rage, but no TP coming off the back of it. He's still got 4 one-charger Super while he's looking for some kind of extra crit. Diving under here, he's got Haste Rune available, so Open Wound's not going to stop him here. Cloud 1 second away, and that'll be the kill, but the Cloud How's out of range, and now Super, he's in too deep. The creep wave is blocking him in the corner. He's trying to find a way out, but no amount of movement speed's going to save him from that. Can't hide inside the tree line. Xiao Wei again TPing.